venture?
Culture eats strategy for breakfast. That I know today.
Hey.
I know your network will be very good.
It better be, Hano.
Yeah. Good evening and welcome to Talks with Ubi Franklin on live on Instagram. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't hear that. There was a glitch.
Yeah, I said good evening. Welcome to Talks with Ubi Franklin live on Instagram.
Thank you for having me, sir. How's the money?
Money. You know, you still owe me some percentage. You need to come and you're a lawyer, so I need to accuse you properly.
So I think you're forgetting that we had a very interesting conversation. Man, it was a while ago, but I think we're at Lekki ShopRite.
Yeah.
What's that bar that used to be open? That was me, Tools. There's this place that was open like right outside where you park. This open place that was 44. Like a restaurant. 44. Double four. And at that time, you had promised me that I was going to make money from techno. You promised me that you're going to give me money from techno. And you never made good your promise. So, I don't know, man.
You know what? We'll look into the numbers. We'll look into the numbers. If the numbers still make sense, we'll take it from there. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. How's it going, man?
Well, we're pushing COVID-19. Everybody's indoors, so we decided to find other things to do to make sure that we can learn, unlearn, inspire as many people as possible.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and great work with your show. I mean, I've been watching it and I've seen what you're doing, especially with empowering people.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I think that is great to have a show that teaches people the life skills, how to fish, and not just throwing fish. Because I mean, you can give fish, but it doesn't sustain people. So big up to you and congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. So I'll go straight to the questions. I know you're a very smart guy, but I'm going to try to enter you a little bit, and I'll get you talking.
Okay.
So Audu, you earned a law degree from the University of Jos in 1999 and completed law school Abuja with a degree from MIT Boston. How did you find your way into the music business early in life?
So my background is such that my father and my mother were both in the choir. In fact, my father was a choir master. So basically, I grew up in a Christian family. So we had morning and evening devotion. And part of the morning and evening devotion was to sing hymns and pray and praise worship and things like that. So for us to sing properly, because my father was in the choir, he would teach us how to praise and worship. You know, so my father would teach us how to sing the alto, soprano, right? This is the range you should go. You know, and then he had a choir in the house, basically. So we're all people who learn how to sing because of his, shall I say, his curation, so to speak. So that's the background. When I was 11, he got us a music teacher, had a piano. He bought a keyboard for us, got us a music teacher, and we learned how to play the keyboard. And then somehow I figured out how to connect a double-decker. You know, those days there was cassettes. So I figured out how to connect a double-decker with a microphone. I started producing, in quotes, music. You know, so I'd connect my piano to the double decker and then record some songs, then we'll sing over it and just fool around. So let's just say so music is an integral part of my family. It's my family culture. Everyone in my family is a music, buff. My father had about 2,000 cassettes, over 2,000 cassettes. My father alone, his musical collection. So I grew up listening to Bob Marley, Beethoven, music from Spain, just music from around the world, because as a lawyer, he's a lawyer as well. So he traveled quite extensively. And everywhere he went to, he would just put a cassette inside a radio station and record the whole radio station. You know, like then it was 90 minutes. Then when he comes back from his trips, we just listen to the music. So I'll say that that's where this whole madness began.
So is your father one of those fathers that used to force you to listen to BBC? You know, BBC on radio. Remember that BBC on AM?
Yeah.
You wake up very
Jesus Christ. That was, yes.
Oh, that was so annoying. My father will get you to listen to that. He'll tell you, you know, I'm sending you to school abroad. You need to understand your lecturer when you get to school. That was his excuse. So you have to sit down in the morning and listen to that AM news. All right. Chocolate City Club back in 1997. Walk us through that venture, the lessons about failure, picking oneself back and finding success.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was quite simple. And I say to people that if you're an entrepreneur, the first thing you look out for is problems. You know, you always look for problems. So I would say that COVID is a problem that needs a solution. And those people who know how to provide solutions right now will be very, very rich. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. So it's just about figuring out what is going on, figuring out what the opportunity is, because there's always opportunity in crisis. And there's always if you can be level-headed in a crisis and think through it, you can make it. And what happened for me typically when we started Chocolate City was that we were in school. You know how it is when you're bored in school, the semester is halfway done, you're broke. Your parents aren't going to send you any more money. You know that. You already squandered the money on baths and parties, so you're broke as hell. And we just started talking with a bunch of my friends, and we're like, look, we should do something just to, you know, and then school was midway through the semester. School was boring as hell. You know, nothing was going on. So we're like, look, why don't you just create something where people can just go hang out and party and we could charge a gate fee. So we just decided that we'll do it every Friday. We'll change the venue. So I basically, I dabble in the arts. I paint and I do some things as well. I'm a funny creative as well. So I created the posters, designed the promotional tools, did the flyers. And what we did was we got a bunch of girls wearing the T-shirt that says Chocolate City Friday. And then it was oversized T-shirts that were, that you type, you know how girls tie their T-shirts by the side?
Yeah.
You know, I had a big T-shirt like that. So they went around school that Friday, the first night. We had about 25 girls just walking around, handing out flyers and saying, come to Chocolate City, blah, blah, blah. And I guess we also had the clout. Like, we were sort of like people who were a bit, you know, popular guys in school. So we had the clout to also generate the people that came in. And from that became like the biggest brand really in the whole University of Jos. So much so that even in ABU Zaria, people were copying, were doing Chocolate City. They were using Chocolate City to do their own shows without our permission. And it started off small and continued to grow. And what we had to think about was evolving. Like, who's the next DJ? Remember that time there were no celebrities. There were no celebrity artists at that time. Yeah. So it wasn't like you could bring anybody. And Two-Face was in school with me, by the way. He was I think by that time he had left. But even then, he was in a group called, Jesus Christ, what they call now? Mad something. Anyway, there are three of them. He was a singer, there was a rapper, and there's some guy who used to beatbox. So that was celebrity then, and even there was a small celebrity. The biggest celebrities were DJ Jimmy Jat. And we never got to bring him onto the show. But we had DJ Brown and DJ Fresh Waves and people like that that attended Chocolate City. So that's really where it started. And after university, I now went I finished law school. And then from law school, I started working with the law firm of Chief Afe Babalola. At that time, it was the biggest and most powerful law firm. And I think till date, it's created the most senior advocates in the history of Nigeria, probably about 50 or so. So it was a grueling, it was hard work. We used to go to work at 7 a.m., 7:30 I'm in the office, and I leave the office 9, 10, 11, 12. The one time I came back home at 2 a.m., and we were back in court at 7:30. But that process was good for me because it taught me the legal skills that I needed. And it also exposed me to a different world and taught me the value of hard work. Because at that time, I literally didn't have any social life, you know, literally until Saturday, until Sundays. Sundays were my only free days. We work on Saturdays sometimes, you know. And so after 3 years or so, I knew that I wanted to do something in entertainment. And especially after Paul Okugo and I, my partner, started something called the Guild of Artists and Poets in Abuja, which was like the coolest thing then. It was our social physical network. And we had literally 30, 40 people every Sunday in 3 places around the country meeting to talk about poetry, art, music, and stuff like that. And that kind of exposed me now to a creative circle of people that needed legal services. They also needed promotion. And so we decided early on to, why don't we set up something? Because one of the first, I was saying that on a webinar yesterday, that the first case I handled as a lawyer in entertainment was a guy who signed a recording contract that had no termination date. No termination date. And he was so happy. It was a great deal. He was happy with himself. Shout out to Oche, Buki, Baker. Yeah, I mean, these are my Gap people, shouting out to Gap. And it was clear that you needed to do something commercial, and you couldn't do it you're using your church mind anymore. And so Chocolate City was that creation. And right from the beginning, what we wanted to do was create a 360 entertainment company, not a record label. So many people think when they think Chocolate City, they say record label. It's actually Chocolate City Group, and we have a record label as part of the group of what we do. So that's sort of where we started from.
Wow. So let's discuss Enough is Enough campaign, which saw thousands of Nigerians protest and became a loud voice for change. Do you think in 2020, young people find a movement like that to be an active will to join forces?
I think things have changed. I think there's a problem. I think the problem is that social media has socially distanced us from action. And I think that for you to make any real change, there needs to be action. If you look at the political plight of Nigeria today, is that people have not bothered to take physical action. We talk a lot. We tweet a lot, So you can be talking. you can be talking from morning till night, and you can tweet, but it doesn't really make any difference. Do you know why? Because the movement is on the streets. And with enough is enough, what we said was it was time to physically go out there and challenge the status quo and protest what was happening with Nigerians. People were being killed, people were being maimed, and the government was saying absolutely nothing. And I guess we were lucky too, because in that era, you could actually, it was less, shall I say, draconian, right, than what we have now. So you could go out there and make noise and they will allow you, but I guess it's changed now. So maybe things have become much more stringent, so people are more scared of doing anything about what they believe. But I still believe that for there to be change, there must be shedding of blood of some sort. And of course, nobody wants to die, but everyone wants to go to heaven. So I don't know, man. I don't know what the solution would be.
But I think these words, social media has socially distanced us away from action. I think it's the right thing, because you see, if you check these days, Buhari wants to go. There's a loan of 40-something or whatever $1 billion that's going to be taken. People will go on social media. They will be on Twitter tweeting about it. It's trending. It's #1 trending topic. And after that day, you don't hear about it anymore. Then it continues in trickles. Nobody wants to post a picture on Instagram saying that, I remember Occupy Nigeria. That was in 2010, 11?
2011, 12, I think. 2012. 2012.
Yeah. So I remember Occupy Nigeria. So we always felt like, okay, it was where we should go and make sure that whatever we can do, our voices should be heard. But I don't think that if there's so recently there was a match, the one I think Two-Face was meant to go for, and a lot of people did not go. Do you understand? Some people were not tweeting about it. Some people were not talking about it because some people were rather tweeting about it than stepping out to go and protest. Do you understand? Yeah. So it's really what you just said really makes a lot of sense. So
it would seem that we were already COVIDing at that time before COVID actually came. Do you understand? We're already confined to our mental homes, at the time, and nobody was ready to go out and risk anything. And I think that whether we like it or not, it has to be a mix of two things. You need to talk about it, but we also need to also take action about it, because nothing happens without action. We can talk from morning to night, but you know.
Well, so Chocolate City is one of the oldest labels, and as a founder and former CEO, who decides to give away to younger talents to do and find people in strange. So you're talking to a fellow record label owner, and I know that we cannot have these conversations without sharing our experiences about owning a record label. Of recent, I've said to myself, record labels in general, as Nigerians, I don't think we're ready. A lot of artists are ready because we are in a country. No, I'm very serious.
Yeah.
Audu, people don't respect contracts in this country. It's painful that you spend a lot of money on an artist. If there are disputes, let's address the disputes, right?
Preach, brother.
Get your
preach.
lawyer.
Preach.
Yeah. Get your lawyer. Let me get my lawyer. Let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. If you are not going to continue the contract, pay me what belongs to the company. Do and what and go. Yeah. But you see, it's difficult right now having to invest in music because these guys wake up every day. They believe that once I become big, our cost is there.
Yeah.
My fans on social media will support me, forgetting that it's a business. Audu, record label is a business. Please, I want you, maybe I'm mad. I need you to let people understand from a legal point of view as well that no, it's very serious. Audu.
Yeah.
We need to let people understand that record labels are actually businesses. The same way you open Okun and Sons hair salon, the same way you open Amaka and Daughters hair. There's the same way record label is a business.
Word.
And if I come into your store now and take hair from your store, right? Take hair from your store, that's theft. So, for coming from an owner of a record label, you founded this record label a long time ago, before some of us even started to say, okay, let's start record labels. Walk us through that journey of owning a record label.
You know, so it's a very emotional conversation. I need tissue paper to just continue myself. Because the truth is, nobody really knows. And I think I blame people like us because we haven't told our side of the story. And that's what we're actually working on, to tell people our side of the story. Whoops. Can you put that off, please? Okay. Sorry about that. You know, and we need to tell people the story because people don't know the story. All you see is an artist who tweets and says, I'm angry, I'm leaving my contract. And then everybody said, we get a record label. They're cheats, they're crooks, they haven't paid them, they haven't done anything, then they go. But the minute you do that, what you don't understand is that every contract that is broken is breaking the possibilities of the lucrativeness of the music business in Nigeria.
Yes.
And that is why many people have come and gone. Many people have stopped putting money in music because it makes no sense. This is our 15th year, by the way. So you guys can be clapping. Please.
Congratulations.
Let me see some hearts. Go 15 years.
Congratulations.
Years of
it's not easy.
Blood, sorrow, and tears. And the reward for many of us is simply that when we see someone who had nothing, who can now change the plight of his family, right? Who can now buy a car and go to school and, you know, change his lifestyle and hopefully affect the community. We feel happy to be part of that journey. No doubt about it. But the truth is this. If you and I had invested the millions of naira, right, and I dare say hundreds of thousands of dollars that we spent on people's careers in a piece of land, we'll be much richer than we are today.
Definitely.
Fast. And I think that many artists, what is interesting that when you leave an artist and he's on his own and he struggles, he becomes humble. Because then you understand exactly what you were doing for him. But
the covering.
The covering, because it is hard work. Think about the number of staff. Currently, we probably have about 50-something staff in my company. We pay every month. We're creating jobs. We're not, so it's easy for you to see the artist, but forget the artist and his crew. there's a system that's working 24/7 who don't sleep to make sure the artwork is correct, that the music reaches the DJ, that the playlist is put there, that the streams are being promoted properly, that you're talking to the radio stations and you're keeping the relationships open with people. So there's so many things that go behind it. And it's been very, very difficult. In fact, the first artist we worked with, after 6 months, he woke up and said that we were too small a record label to work with. Do you know what happened? Because other people now had seen him and they were now giving him money, or rather, they're toasting him. And he just woke up and like, well, how do you know? It's been a fun ride, but I don't know. I just want to go somewhere else. I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but you have a contract. And that is what we came to do. We came to put structure in this industry, and I think that Chocolate City has been able to do that. And consistently over the 15 years, we've tried to keep the structure. We try to build. And we've tried to put something that is a legacy. Chocolate City is not about Audu. Audu happens to be a voice. And the same thing with Double MMG is about you being a voice for something. It's a movement. Yeah. And what is happening in Nigeria now, many people won't recognize the roles that labels played in making it even viable in the first place. Yeah. Because none of these artists have the money to spend on that term. But... No. And let me also speak about maybe the Brimo issue, which was probably a very popular and very widely controversial matter. For us, it was business, never personal. Brimo is my younger brother. I mean, we're good. I mean, even now, we were good. Even then, when he had his child, hey, what's up, bro? I don't know, what's happening? We have the case, so that case is not going to run away because guess what? If I borrowed money at 26% per annum to fund your music career, right? And I was paying interest on it, right? And like you said, you think a tweet will extinguish that loan? It won't. If you go and borrow money from GTB today and they've taken your house, be tweeting for money tonight, your house is gone until you pay that debt. So I think it's also a function of ignorance, and that's why we're trying to educate people, and that's why these things have to happen. So each time there's some kind of a problem going on the internet, or somebody saying he left, or this record label is suing, it's fine. It needs to happen because that is what brings the value to the industry. You think Netflix that's coming to Nigeria is going to take it lightly if you infringe on their copyright? They won't, because it's that copyright that allows them to be $1 billion company today. So what we've failed to do in Nigeria across the creative sector is we've failed in the core pillar of what is called strategy. Strategy for a product, and I keep saying this, is that it's threefold. You create value, right? You deliver value, then you capture value, right? In Nigeria, we're creating value, we're delivering value, but we're not capturing value. That is why I'm not a multi-billionaire today. Because if you think about the number of records that we've sold and the artists that we've worked with over the past 15 years, I should easily be one of the richest people in the creative industry, and you too as well. Yeah, but because what you're doing is you're not able to capture it, you're actually left to rely on the US for streams, for downloads. While you have 180 million people who know the music you're putting out, who consume the music, but they're not paying for the music and you can't capture it. So it's almost a thankless job. And one of the things that I think, and that's why last year when we started talking with Warner Music, we saw the need to expand, because that had always been the vision, grow a world-class company that we can partner with other world-class companies and grow and expand what we're doing. So I hope that with the inroads that other companies and other big deals are coming in, it will begin to stabilize. But we need to fix the enforcement of copyrights, or else we're doomed. Because oil has gone. Yeah. Oil don't go. We are the new oil. We are the new oil. So invest in us.
Audu, I would like to talk about stress about this record label thing for a bit.
Yeah, sure.
A few days ago, I was talking to a friend, and he said, "Ubi, I wish I'd listened to you. I wouldn't have made the mistake I made." I was like, "Oh, why?" Now, this guy, boom, came to Nigeria. "Hey, Ubi, I want to see you. I want to see you." I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" We met, and he said that he has this artist, he wants to start up this record label, boom, boom. You know how when they come to you and they have that money, they believe that record label is something that you just dive in make money, and then you relax.
Yeah.
I think the hardest entrepreneur is a record label owner. Because as a record, let's be honest. See, as a record label owner, as a record label owner, you are fighting for your company to get noticed and for your company to make money. You are praying that the artist should not leave. So you are fighting for two things. The hardest entrepreneur in Nigeria is actually the record label owner. If you can survive owning a record label, you survive anything in this world. That's why I always keep telling people, I say, there's nothing in this world I will never survive. Because you're dealing with emotions. You know, the shift is always crazy. This guy, when you say, oh, babao, babao, baba, babao, 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 every day they keep doing that.
True.
Once they blow, once that artist blows, boom, over.
Gone.
Do you understand?
Humility blows away as well as soon as
humility
is gone. Yeah,
very difficult, and it's been giving me a lot of concern. See, Audu, you know, I sit down some days and I'm asking. So this is my guy I was telling you about, and I told him, I said, guy, if you want to come into this music industry, be ready to go broke. Music and politics are the same thing. It's only politics that you go to and become broke. And it's only music business you can go to and become broke.
But politics is better because at least you're running for yourself.
You're running for yourself.
But this one you're investing in somebody else's life.
Somebody else. So now, once you see politics and music, once you fail, you failed. Because you're going to fail because you've done, and then when you look back, you find that, like in music, Asuko, this is
you're killing me,
these are real facts. And this, see,
okay.
This is one of the, as many other questions I have, this is one of the things I really wanted us to discuss because you've been in this game for 15 years, right?
Yeah.
And in terms of industry-wise, I've been in the industry for about the same time. But in terms of record label, my record label started officially in 2011, 12, thereabout.
So about 10 years.
About 10 years. So if you look at this music industry critically, you find out that there's a, so I need to tell you this, my friend's story. So I told him, I said, guy, I've been in this industry for some time now. I'll tell you something. It makes no sense for you to just wake up and say you found an artist, you want, without getting proper advice from people who have been doing this thing. They failed and they say, bro, man, I'm not the discouraged person. I said, really? I said, okay, no problem. I said, bro, sure, bro. Every day he sees me, he always tells me, this boy, you know,
you guys are comedian.
No, I'm serious. He always tells, every day he sees me, he doesn't chop the knuckle again. You say, this boy, I wish I had listened to you. And you see, I was not discouraging him not to invest in the industry. I told him to hold on. I told him, go and seek advice from different record labels. Ask them questions. And then one day I asked an artist, I said, come, can you ever take money of your own and invest in yourself? He said, no. I said, really? I said, really? I said, so now that I have brought out money to invest in you, why not respect? No, I'm serious. I said, now that I brought out money to invest in you, why not respect the contract that you have? If you want to fight me, you can go, but just know that I'm a cat with 9 lives. I'll keep going. You try all you're trying, I'll keep going. I've faced a lot of things I've faced a lot of things in the music business. And we're not going to end this conversation without also talking about the part that the record labels too play.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Now, because you see, so there's some record labels that have messed up a lot. How do you sign an artist a contract with no expiry date? Who does that? Do you understand? But you see, they don't know that with signing an artist with a contract without an expiry date is the easiest legal route out of the contract. Because
and that's how we exactly how we got them out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because if you say if there's no stipulated time legally, You know, we all went to read law. And I know you've been practicing law for years. I'll tell you something. If you listen to yourself very well, you find out that, oh, it's easy. If you sign an artist without an expiry date, automatically, the day I wake up, I'll say I'm going. Because I believe that I've served to the point where I can serve and go. So why would a label do that? That is always another wrong thing with a label. And you see, some things that are never captured by the artist is always, you know, when you tell an artist, come and go for interview, and they don't go. You tell an artist, come and go for a show, they tell you no. You tell an artist, come and, you know these things, artists never capture that on their rants. When they are ranting, they never capture that.
Ubi, I think we need to start like an Alcoholics Anonymous group for ex and present record label owners for emotional support. Because it's rife. It is actually, and I think the problem is that there's a lot of infancy in thinking, right? Is that, and I'll paint a very simple picture. The person who contracts you to build a house, right, as a carpenter, right, that gives you the money and you use your skill to build it, who owns the house?
Is the owner of the house.
It's the person who pays for the house.
It's the person who paid for the house, yeah.
So if I say, let's build a house together, you know how to build, I know how to pay the money, I'll give you a percentage of rental from the income of that house. Yeah. In exchange for you to build a house, and I'll pay for it. When we want to do any business, why do you think that you can wake up and tell me, if we hire a carpenter and say, carpenter, yo, build this place, do such and such, and you complain, you're like, I'm not happy with this quality of work, fix it. And then he says, oh, Upi was rude to me. I'm walking out of the contract. In life, does that really happen? It doesn't. People think that because music seems free, that they are free to do whatever they want to do. And this is why we're not richer as a country, because we have given up the most invaluable thing in the world, which is called intellectual property. There's a commensurate relationship between the GDP of a country and the intellectual property enforcement and protection of that country. That is why when you look at GDPs, you see with the US and the UK and the UK, they have high intellectual property protections. That is why this guy who created this app called Instagram is making billions of dollars because of what we're doing right now. Yeah. Because he knows that if you infringe upon this act, in 2 seconds, they'll pick you up, lock you up for 15 years, and nothing will happen. In Nigeria, I can wake up, copy your book, copy this show that you're doing, sell it on the streets, and the policeman will collect 1,000 naira and say, oh God, forgive him now. He doesn't know what he's doing. And it's that laxity that has led us to where we are as a country. So you see, everything affects everything. Everything affects everything. So the truth is also that when you think about the artists, a lot of the artists, you'll be very lucky to find an artist that's level-headed, that understands the challenges you're doing. But the truth also is this. And let me tell you what I realized is a problem. Every musician has something called the God complex, right? The God complex is what Lucifer, the devil, had as well. If you know the story of Lucifer in the Bible, right, and God, and how Lucifer became Satan, was thrown out. Lucifer was a rock star. He said his voice was so beautiful that when he sang, the whole of heaven used to shake and get confused. Now, because he was such a beautiful singer, and because music is an emotional communication that is bereft of language, time, age, zone, or whatever, right? You become hooked on music before you even know it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's food for the soul. So before you knew it, Lucifer started thinking that he was bigger than God. The guy who brought him into power, he tried to overthrow God himself, right? I think this is what happens with musicianship, right? Is that so much adulation. You have 4 million followers. Everything you say is golden. How will they not forget that one day they were nobodies? So you must also understand with them that it's not also fair on them. It's beyond them in a sense. But that's why the laws need to be enforced to help them calm down, right? And when the law is enforced, you as a label owner, you're held to a higher duty of care. You as a musician, you're held to a higher duty of care. And that is when investors will come and bring the big money to blow up our economy. And that's what we need right now. Unless we can show a clear enforcement and respect for the laws, like you said, we're not going to get the investments that we need.
I have a suggestion. And I'm going to say this here. I don't care whoever wants to. Now, this was a suggestion I came up with. I said, you know, in America, when a label is signing you, it's like they're giving you a loan. They're giving you a sign-on fee, right?
Yeah.
So I think that should be introduced in Nigeria, and it should be through this way.
Okay.
I go to a bank, I take my record label, deposit. No. Just listen to what I'm saying now.
I love it. Okay, go.
I'll take my record label.
Okay.
Right? Take the company documents, everything to the bank. Place it with the bank. Tell the bank, or we get where through an SPV, the bank buys a percentage of the record label.
Okay.
And the bank becomes the borrowing entity of the money for investment. Good. Listen to where I'm going to. Because you see, this thing has made us think. I've been thinking.
Okay, yeah, go. Listen.
So the bank becomes the borrowing entity for the loan. Now, the bank, the record label and the SPV, right? Or the record label and whatever company that the bank has appointed, we go together and take a loan from the bank.
Okay.
So whenever the artist wants to shoot a video, the artist also signs the loan document. Hold on. No, this is no joke. Just listen to this. I'm coming on. Just listen to where I'm coming.
You're killing me right here, man. No, I'm feeling you, by the way. I'm feeling you. Just go on. You know why I'm laughing? It's how much detail to thought you're putting into this thing. That's amazing.
See, Audu, don't worry. See, I've been thinking about this thing for years. So what we do is the bank now becomes the borrowing entity because one of their major obligation is to borrow and to keep funds, right? The bank becomes the borrowing entity, gives the record label the money. If the record label wants to sign shoot a video or promote an artist, the artist will carry his bag and come to the bank, sit down there, put his pen, his signature on the loan document, knowing that this money is borrowed from the bank, and if it's not, it's okay if you fail in your career for 5 years or 10 years and you can go. But if you succeed and you leave this contract, there's a problem. So now, listen to this structure, right?
Okay.
So the bank now, the money that is being spent on you is a loan, and you know that this loan came from a bank. You already know it. Knowing that the day you leave or you want to leave the record label when your contract is not over, right? What will happen to you? The bank will come for you. So now is the bank enforcing. The bank will arrest Audu, arrest Ubi, then arrest the artist. You all be in jail dancing. You understand? So once you're in jail dancing, you'll be the one say, Babamo, go perform music. No, because it doesn't make sense. Okay, for example. So,
oh my God.
I'm serious because now somebody just asked who pays the bank. So let me tell you how the bank gets paid. I'll take my money and give it to the bank and tell the bank, borrow this money to my company. So it's my money. I've given it to the bank. Right? I'm telling the bank, borrow this money to. So what we are doing now is
so you refinance.
Yes. So I refinance the company through the bank. It's simple. So what do I need to do? I go to the bank, say, bank, this guy, his name is so. Okay, let me use a name. Let me use Akin Alabi. Okay. He's my artist, for example. I take Akin Alabi to the bank. I say, bank, this is my money. I've given it to you. It's no more my money as far as it has entered your account. You know that you can use money to secure a loan, right? So you take the money and say, okay, this is the money I've given to you. So now, since you have my money, right? We invest this money into this company with this artist, right? Being part of the people taking the loan. Do you understand what I'm saying? Am I wrong? Am I right? Yeah. So we invest this money into the artist taking the loan because this is a part of the structure that we need to build because nobody wants to spend money in our Nigerian entertainment industry. Investors are running away. How come we've been we have the biggest artists in Africa. Afrobeat is everywhere in America, and banks will still not give you a loan. If you don't have a collateral, banks won't give you a loan.
And,
do you understand what I'm saying?
But you know what? And you know what you've said actually is quite brilliant. And the truth is that at that point in time you'll know who is serious about their career and who is not.
Yeah, if you're not serious,
because
you go
many
out.
of
There's
them,
somebody that will come
one
in.
of them won't do it. And you know, I was in a Glow one time with a bunch of artists, A-list artists, by the way, and we're waiting to do something to collect money for something, you know. So I just maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I saw a couple of ex-artists who had been signed to record labels, and they were talking, and I overheard them saying, "Man, it's not easy. This guy charged me such and such and such for a video. Man, I need to look for that money," because they're out of the record label deal. And I just overheard them, and I could see how much strain they're going through, because when I know how much the videos they used to shoot when they were in record labels, I know how much they spent on them. And now you're complaining about almost half the price that the label is doing, right? Because even in negotiating the cost of your video, if you're a smart artist, what you should do is go and get the cheapest video you can get, because you're going to pay back that money regardless. People don't understand that in record business, it is recoupable, but not repayable. There's a big difference. Because when it's recoupable, it means that you will have to pay, no matter how long it takes, from the earnings that you make. Yeah. When it's repayable, it means that there's a certain time frame within which you must pay. Now, the way the music industry is going to now is that with internet, with Instagram and things like this, people believe that they don't really need that structure. It works internationally. It might not work locally yet, because we don't have the local infrastructure to sell the records that we're talking about. That's the truth about it, you know. So if you're thinking about, if you own a record label today, you're looking at this, you're looking at streaming income, right? Or you're looking at streaming income, or you're looking at where the revenues are coming out from. The revenues from streaming today is coming from the US and the UK. It's not from Africa. It's not from South Africa. It's definitely not from Lagos. It's definitely not from Nigeria. So it means that you need to be in a space whereby you are now selling your music locally. Now look at where the streams of income are going to. It's live music, right? You go to a show, they give you 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, you jump, you come back, you're popping champagne. Right now, for the next year or so, mark my words, it's going to be virtually impossible for people to gather on those huge numbers again. And notice that most of that revenue is coming from international. In the US, they've postponed all their major shows to this time till fourth quarter of next year, because nobody wants to die just to go to a concert. So the truth is that anybody that's investing in music at this time is taking a huge risk. And the returns are not huge, because if your streaming revenue is dependent on the US, the question is this: if you're an American citizen or a UK citizen, wouldn't you listen first to Stormzy before you listen to Davido, with all due respect? You would, because it's a cultural issue. It's more of what you're hearing all the time that relates with you. So you're absolutely right. But one of the things that I find that is actually quite worrisome too is that on the label side, we have this forgiving church spirit, right? I know that labels are messing up as well, no doubt. I've seen record contracts, I'm like, wow, because obviously I represent artists as a lawyer, separated from all these things that I do. But I think that the biggest thing here is a lack of education. And you know what? This talk that we're doing, if you go and say you're doing a music contracts 101 today, do you know who's going to attend? The artists that don't have anything. None of the A-list artists will attend, right? None of them will even bother themselves, because at the end of the day, they'll just think that, oh, well, you know, I'm making money right now. It doesn't matter. But watch 4 or 5 years when they have no hits, when there's no song on the radio. That's when you start seeing them humbling themselves. They come back to themselves. They now start attending conferences. They don't want to join P-Man and Kuson thereafter. And it's a wrong thing. So my word to anybody who's doing music business, that it is your career. You must understand it very well. You must be learning. You must be humble. And you must know that one day the party will end. So if you're too excited about flying first class for every flight, know that one day in 5 years' time, you might not be able to afford a business class ticket. Recently, I was on a flight, New York to LA. A big rapper, I won't name his name, right? Big rapper that was huge the other days. I was sitting in, what was that thing called? Delta
Premium
Plus,
economy.
Delta Comfort,
Delta
right?
Plus,
Right?
yeah.
Comfort, which is not first class, it's just one after. He was sitting in economy, right? I couldn't believe it. He just carried his bag, put it. I said, Jesus Christ. Then when he got out, you know when you're trying to get your bags out? So I saw him in the carousel, and he was like hiding. He was ashamed because
Is he a Nigerian rap former rapper?
no, not Nigerian.
Okay.
Proper hip hop star here in the States.
Okay.
So and it just brought to mind the fact that look, this party can end. So understand that you have a time limit. You cannot be fresh forever. So cut your coat according to your size. Keep your contracts and be a man of reputable nature, and things will continue to grow for you, hopefully.
Audu,
You know,
it
but
feels
we
like
talk about this your deal, though. I like it.
yeah, it feels like we are no. You know, I didn't finish that whole.
You haven't finished.
No, I haven't finished. You see, it's a full case study.
Please, I need to share.
Audu.
Then let's talk about it. I really am interested in it. I think it's great.
The reason why I came up with this thing is because I felt like a lot of artists have come to a point where they feel like record label owners, investors are stupid.
Absolutely.
I said something to somebody.
Absolutely.
I said something one day. I said, listen, I'm not your father. I'm not your mother. Right? If I can take 1 naira and spend on you, how do you remember? Okay, earlier in the conversation, you remember you said something about how we met at a restaurant in at the Palms. Now, if I call Audu for a meeting and we're talking about music business, how to better the industry, and even if I buy you a bottle of Coke, or I give you a glass of Glenfiddich or whatever, that is investment already. I'm investing in trying to make sure that I better the process of my record label.
Yeah.
Now, you see what artists see. Artists will tell you, how much did you even spend on me? You shot 4 videos. It cost, 4 videos, let's say a video is 3 million. 3 times 4, that's 12 million.
Wait, sorry, Ubi, how big was, up until recently, how big was the biggest Nollywood movie? Is it more than 3, 4, 5 million? Remember?
It wasn't. Yeah.
So you shoot a movie each time you shoot a music video. Think about it. And you say, how many, you shot 4 videos? 4 videos is a joke. Can you imagine this?
They'll say, what have you ever done for me? And I keep saying this, and I say, see, artists are made from a very special place. And that place is, I want to visit that place and talk to God and say, I need to see that place. Because I need to understand how they think. Because we think purely as businessmen. And once you think purely as a businessman, they say you're a devil, you're a fool, you're a this, you're a that. Though, I would say this, our legal system, you're a lawyer. Our legal system needs to be looked into.
Oh, no, definitely.
See, because of the Nigerian creative industry, this thing I'm saying, it's not just about music. It happens in our creative industry. We don't respect contracts. We don't care about what contract says. If I wake up in the morning, because I'm a popular person, I just tweet and boom, everywhere is burning. The time to tell an artist, invest or save, they will not want to hear.
Oh, no, at all. You know what? There's a recent...
The worst thing, listen to, let me say this before you continue.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can ever say to an artist in this, our Nigerian entertainment industry, is invest, especially when they've blown. If you tell them invest, they'll think that you're trying to babysit them.
Unless it's a car.
That's the worst thing. Unless it's a car. Yes. Unless it's a car. If you tell an artist invest or buy a house or do this, they feel like you are trying to talk down on them. They believe that because they've blown, they don't need it. And you see, that's where management comes in. People that are managing artists, aside record label owners, right? Artist managers we need to build an artist manager school. Where you understand that artist manager is not a carrier of glasses or bags. You are someone that actually promotes.
So Ubi. So let me call in there. Let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you one thing, right? At a time, I used to manage a lot of artists under my label. At a time, we set up a system whereby we would keep their money in an account for investment. At a time, we used to be particular about every detail of their life to make sure that they were covered, right? At a time, we would even forego our fees and give them money so they could maybe buy a car and stuff like that and fund their cars. So, bro, we've gone through it in detail. Bentleys, whatever you want to call them. All those things were done through the fact that as a company, I could go to a bank or to a car place and say, you know what, I guarantee the cars. We'll pay a lease, do a lease, we'll pay. Then we did all those things. But do you know what happened? At a point in time, one of the artists said to me, he said, look, you're not my father. I said, damn right, I'm not. So please let me have my money. Let me do what I want to do. There are several opportunities to own property that came that we say, we'll send email, guys, this opportunity is here. We can do a payment plan for you guys. Buy property. Buy this thing and pay over time. They refuse. And I tell every artist, buy land before you buy a Land Rover. They don't know that. They'll always go and floss. In 4 years' time, the car has kaput. It's lost value. You are broke, and you can't even fix the damn engine. So what happens? You downgrade to a Toyota. And before that is a downward spiral. So this Lucifer complex, and I call it the Lucifer complex, is that you are confused with the adulation that you get on social media and you think that is real numbers. It's the same way Nigerian politicians or Nigerian political Twitter is confused or excited about the fact that they're trending on Twitter. It means nothing on ground. If it did, then the results of 2019, 2015, and 2011 should have been different from what they were today. So it's clear that there's a big disconnect between what we say and what is at play. And what we have to do to fix the industry is for people like you and I and all the other people who have invested to actually invest more money in lobbying for specialized courts. Because the judges don't even understand the cases that they're handling. Facts. They don't even understand what you're talking about. We have been trying to pass the Copyright Act. They said it's been passed. I'm not even sure if it's passed or not. And it's been there for 10, 15 years. We have lingering issues with COSON, which is supposed to be the pension for people that invest in music business when they are hungry, broke, and tired. Zero. So my biggest fear for the industry is this. They'll get to a point whereby all the labels, you know, the labels were here in 1980-something. They all were here. Polygram, Sony, Decca, they were here. They left. What happened? They could not monetize. After a while, when all the excitement about being Afrobeat withers, right, they will leave until we have set up a system that allows people to actually get what they've sown, or rather reap what they've sown. The biggest problem across Nigeria as a whole is that in Nigeria, merit is not rewarded with any cash. Hard work doesn't get you anything. In universities, you can buy your degree. My last year, in my fifth year in law, some of my colleagues walked up to me and said, hey, Audu, you know, I don't know what your grades are like, but you know, we're paying some lecturers so they can make sure that we have a tutu, you know, because our grades are not great. So just bring money and let's join money and pay this lecturer. I said, hell no. They said, why? I said, because I want to know that my result is my result. I don't want to be a quack lawyer. I really wanted to read law. I didn't do law because my father said I should. I read law because I want to be a lawyer. So I don't want to have a quack degree. So think about the quack doctors we have that paid for their degrees and who are now practicing in public hospitals and killing people. You see, until we get to a point whereby hard work is rewarded and there's something commensurate to hold on to, people will always do the shortcut. And the shortcut is this. Be nice to Audu, collect his money, do a recording deal. You know what I'm saying? Blow up. When I blow up, I cut out, tweet my exit to the contract, and I continue. I'll find another MAGA to pay. It's not sustainable, guys. We need to change. We need to up the conversation. And it starts with us. Everything that we're doing, the rot we're seeing in Nigeria is every small thing. It's the fact that you don't pay for your driver's license. And then you say, oh, guy, how now? $20. Right? And because the guy is used to collecting $20, that he's not going to protect your house when armed robbers come. Because the armed robbers already gave him their own $20 too. So you can't distinguish between you and the armed robber. You're both thieves. So until we get that, it's a systemic problem. It's much bigger than what we see. And even internationally, last story I'll give you, there's a group called, I used to talk about them, it's a group called the Tribe Called Quest, my favorite group in the world. They broke up in 2008, right? They were probably one of the most influential record groups at that time. They broke up in 2008, but they had one album pending with Jive Records, right? But the group has scattered. They've been fighting. In 2015, they decided to stop fighting. And you know, they still have to deliver that record to the Jive Records. That's how many years? Almost 10 years after. They still deliver that's how hard the enforcement of copyright is in America. You can't wake up and go. But in Nigeria, somebody can go and meet a judge, give him 200K, or please, sir, give him 50K. Before you know, your case is gone. So we need to fix, it's a systemic issue and it cuts across everything, and we need to start changing it now, or there's no hope for our new crude oil, which is entertainment business.
So do you think that COVID-19 is going to just pour that chill bottle of water in the heads of these artists for them to, because Audu, I can bet you, you know that water, the water that you use, that cold water you used to soak Gary with granite, that chill one, that's what COVID-19 has poured on a lot of these artists, right?
Yeah.
As in, that chilled bottle of water that's almost iced. That's the one that COVID-19 has poured on a lot of artists. Ice water, tutu. I'll tell you what, Audu, there are a lot of artists as we speak that cannot feed in their houses right now. No. See, no. See, it feels like you're. And if this COVID-19 continues longer than this, there will be a problem. No jokes. Because you see, invest to save money, they don't want to hear. I had a friend. Oh, I was even about to talk about it. See me, Sean B. He was talking to me about. He was talking to me how what he went through spending money. And this when Sean came to me, most of the advice I gave him, he didn't take it. He just most of the advice I gave him, he didn't take it. You see, in our industry, as in our industry, I've said when people ask me, "Oh, well, why are you doing music business and doing this thing?" In this world today, you cannot be a record label owner, and that will be the only business you are doing.
Die.
You are done. You are done for life.
You will die. You will die.
If you are a record label owner in the Nigerian entertainment industry, and that is the only business you do, you are done. Just know that yourself and your family are done.
As way back as 2013, 60% of our revenues was not coming from music. 2013, we're diversified because if we had followed that, you see, music is a path. It opens access. It gives you some, and that's how you have to deal with it, because you're not selling records, bro. Let's be honest about that. How many records are you selling? How many streams? People talk about a video is 4 million naira. If you do 1 million views, how much is that in dollars? It's barely $1,000. I don't know. I can't remember how much the spend is, but it's nothing more than $4,000 you've made. So you've buried $10,000 to get $4,000. You know what I'm saying? In terms of promotion. So the truth is that diversification is key. Post-COVID, Nigeria, first of all, we have a big global recession happening, first of all. Now we can see the dollar has gone down, and then the revenues are down. Let me ask you a question. If in 3 months' time I tell you, bro, let's go to, let me use an artist now. Let's say Techno is performing, right? I love Techno. Techno is performing somewhere in TBS, Tafa Balewa Square. Ticket is 5,000 or 1,500.
I ain't going.
You're not gonna go.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not attending any show. I've said it. I'm not attending any show, any public gathering till like next year, maybe February.
There's no point doing it. You're not going to go and kill yourself for that. So the question then is that, what value are you offering? Do you know the second thing that's going to change in the music industry? Is that the kind of music that's going to be played is going to be different. Do you know why? On the real, if you play me a party song right now, I'm not in the party mood, dude. There are people dying of hunger, on the streets. I want music that soothes my soul. I want music that helps me think, that helps me reflect, that soothes my anxiety. So that pop music is not going to sell at this time. So it's going to be more the mellow, deep, well thought out music that makes you reflect, because everyone is close to death one way or the other, right? You're just a cough away, a sneeze away. So even that's going to change. Then in terms of artistry, I want to be, I was in a panel at South by Southwest many years ago, and this guy was speaking. The guy, some big guy, he used to work with James Brown. Bootsy Collins. His name is Bootsy Collins. He was a funk guy. He used to perform with James Brown. He said, in their time, an artist had to do something you couldn't imagine doing. That's artistry. Today, how many artists do you see perform that they do something that you cannot do in your house? Do you know what I'm saying? How many
Yeah.
of them? I watched Naira Marley at what do you call them at what's this thing? Afro Nation in Accra. The biggest thing about his performance was his dance step. Michael Jackson, dance step. You know what I'm saying? When you think about the biggest acts, it's always about something you're doing that nobody else can do the way you're doing. Beyonce, dance step, choreography, things like that, right? If you're not refining your art while you're home in quarantine, you're going to Jones when things open because people want to see something spectacular that's worth me coming out of my house and paying cash and risking my life to hear what you have to say. And it better be worth my time, or else I'd just rather play a video of an old school guy that I like Michael Jackson. You know, at least I'll see him do the moonwalk or something and I'll be entertained by that. Then the other thing we need to think about the musical trends too is that as live revenues die, yesterday I was reading a report, Rock Nation, Def Jam, all these labels, they're cutting down a lot of their staff because they don't see how they can pay them any money. So my advice to you as an artist or if you're in business is one, conserve your cash, please. This is not the time to be popping champagne. Even if you're home bored and depressed, use the time to read, develop a skill, learn how to code, do something, add something to your skill because the world that we're going to, you have to be multi-skilled to survive. Even as lawyers, yesterday I was in a webinar with a bunch of lawyers who are aspiring lawyers in the UK. Small group, 16 of them, and we're just talking. So I was doing like a mentoring session with them. We're just talking about it. And the last question one of them asked me was, she said, look, so what the way the world's going to with AI, right, with access to the internet, you know you can download the record contract on the internet now and just fit it in. You might not know the implications, but you can do something that, you know, just sign it and do, right? So it means that even the role for lawyers, she was worried about, was saying, so will the role of lawyers not change? Will lawyers still be relevant after this? And you know what? I said to her, it will change, but you have to change too. The biggest thing about survival is the ability to change and pivot. Think about your career now, right? You have moved from record label. I remember when I met you in 2009 in Calabar.
Yeah.
And then you're doing promotion for Two Face. I haven't
Two-Face,
forgotten
yeah.
that. And I
Yeah,
know your
I
brother
was doing promotion
Ofem.
for Two-Face.
Your brother
Yeah.
Ofem. This is Ofem. That's your surname.
Yeah, Ofem.
It's Ofem, right?
That's his name,
So,
my brother, yeah.
Ofem and all that. So you guys have a history. Now think
Yeah.
about it. What if you allow your first frustration in promotion stop you from doing the record label? Or the record label stop you from pivoting what you're doing now? You'd be a shell of yourself. You'd be dead by now.
Audu, you just said something that just struck my spirit, right? When I was promoting for Two-Face that time, you know that Two-Face didn't know me.
Really?
I met him. He didn't know me. But I was struggling to make sure that Two-Face is known. I was fighting everything to make sure that he's known. Like, not known. People knew him already. But I was just, you know how, you know these freelancers? I was one of those freelancers then that I just want to work. Let me just see the work that I can do. When people wake up and they're sharpening their mouth, I say this way, you don't know where I'm coming from.
Exactly.
Let me tell you a story I will do. I went to Two-Face's house in Festac. Myself and DJ Spinall. If DJ Spinall is on this call, he'll say the same thing. I went to Two-Face's house, sat outside. His manager then, Nazi, kept us outside. It was raining. I almost gave up. I almost gave up. I almost gave up on this whole music thing. So one day, what's it called? Efe. And there's this guy that used to be Two-Face's publicist.
Don't
Bayo Mishore. They dealt with me. They dealt with me. I almost gave up on this whole entire music. Two-Face. See, let me tell you what happened. I was just there one evening. My phone started ringing. Almighty Two-Face calling me. Then I was not Ubi Franklin. Nobody knows me.
Yeah.
Then I got a call from Two-Face. Two-Face said, is this Ubi Franklin? That's where the name came from. Ubi Franklin. He started trying to joke with me. And I was like, somebody, he now told me, he said, Ubi, I know everything that has happened to you. Just understand that it's part of life. I want you to hustle more than you can. He said, I want you to hustle more than you can ever hustle.
Nice.
That day, I was in my brother's house. I was just in the sitting room, and I was sad. I was crying because they had dealt with me. So I woke up. I told my brother, I said I was coming, and I stepped out of that house and went to go and hustle again. Is that hustle that made Kelvin Orifa? He introduced me to Nyanya, and through Nyanya, I got to meet I got to meet a lot of other people, because after Nyanya Blue could carry your waist and everything, and then through gospel, I got to meet Kaha. You remember 2009? See Kaha, 2009. So from there, I got to remember.
Shout out, bro.
Kaha, shout out. I got to meet I got to meet Techno. You know, so if I tell you my journey is crazy. I've faced embarrassing situations. I would just to distribute songs and CDs. I've entered Okada from Lekki to main. You know, when you're on the mainland, right?
Ubi.
When you're on the mainland, Third Mainland Bridge,
bro,
and the rain is hitting, and Okada cannot see.
Bro, when you came, things were better. Think about Nigeria in 2005, bro. Think about where data, a phone call was like $50 a minute. Think about entering bus from here to Alaba. Bus. Enter Okada from Dolphin, enter Obalende, go to Alaba. Then you're negotiating with all these crooks that call themselves distributors, right? You still have to buy them drinks. Then when you finish, they'll give you a pittance and tell you that they printed 100,000 copies. Meanwhile, they did 1 million copies. And they're buying brand new houses every day. And you're dying of hunger. Bro, listen, look, if we begin to open stories.
I remember going to Alaba to go and fight Alaba boys for pirating songs. And guess what? Guess whose song it was?
Oh.
Two-Face. When Two-Face dropped, you know that his album that came in, that his face, it was black and white. What's the name of that album? That had, just like rain.
I know.
So, me here, I went to go and fight Alaba boys for pirating Two-Face. It was, I think if it was that, they chased those boys, chased us. See, now you can sit down in your house. I tell people, I say, things are easier now. Work harder. Use your time to do other things. Do you know there was a time that you have to take your own CD to every radio station? Take your video to every... But right now, you can actually sit down at home, send a link to some TV station.
Post online, somebody picks it up and goes.
Now, somebody like Davido, he has a lot of followers. If he wants to drop music, all he needs to do is post it on his Instagram. 9 million people or 10 million people know that David is dropping a song, right? So, and then you have an artist that is doing that for you, and then you're a lazy manager. Manager, wake up and go and do the work. People don't understand that if I sit down and reflect on the things of the entertainment industry, I'll tell you, we'll never start. We've been coming for, if you just started music.
You know, one thing I must say too is that, you know, shout out to F.A. Morigbe. Let me tell you, I have, there's some people I have a lot of respect for. And he's one of those people. Because, you see, it's not easy. And shout out to Two-Face as well, you know. And you have to call these people. And I think it's important to mention people who actually made all the difference. Because without these people, we probably would not be here. And shout out to Kenny Ogumbe, especially. And I'll tell you a personal story that what he did actually was, it took me to another level. I competed for this, something called the British Council International Young Music Entrepreneurs. It's very old, 2007. 2006, I applied from Abuja. I was the only contestant from Abuja that got shortlisted nationally. Top 10 shortlist. And all the guys were all the top people. Joyce, Two-Face's manager. Emma, who was with Kush and also doing that management. There was, I think, I Need the Great, maybe. I think was shortlisted. A couple of top people. And here I am, the Abuja guy who people just don't really know. I'm just starting one small record label. I'm pushing my small artists. And so I go to the presentation. And when I enter the room, when they say the height of utter confusion, I've never been this confused in my life. So imagine that I'm in Abuja, I read about Kenny Ogumbe, right? I read about Olisa Ibwa, Storm Records. You know, I'm reading about Carl Raka, Eddie Lawani. You know who those guys were at the time. Then you walk into a room thinking you're coming for a small interview with some Obi Asika. So you walk into a room and you're hoping to see somebody like some Oyinbo person, some Then you just can't see the music industry of Nigeria, the gods of the industry, and they're your judges. So I just entered. I saw these people I've never met in my life. I've seen them on radio and TV. I was confused. So it took me like a whole... I was totally confused. No, Haviti wasn't even then yet. He wasn't even like there yet. So I finished my presentation, but I was too flustered. As I just stumbled out, MM was after me. So I saw MM in the hallway. So I told her, I said, listen, the guys you're going to see are such. So be ready. But, good luck. When we had a break time, MM won that year. MM won the award for Nigeria that year. So I came second runner-up. So the following year, MM saw me at an event and said, hey, and shout out to MM as well. Big shout out. And MM said to me, Audu, why don't you apply this year? You did quite well last year. You just missed narrowly. Why don't you do it this year? I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I can't be failing twice. That pride thing. And then last minute I said, what do I have to lose? Let me just try. So I applied literally 20 minutes to the deadline, got the thing, shortlisted, did the thing. And during the break, Kenny Ogme walked up to me. He said something to me. He said, Audu, I admire your courage. You're going to go far. I see your passion for music. You're going to go far. And bro, that was like, when your tank is empty and somebody has given you that 20 liters, right? 20 liters of fuel when your tank is empty. Bro, that whole story, that statement from Kenny's, who for me is still the most iconic record label boss to today, right? Was a boost that changed my mind. So, it changed my life. And I think it's important to tell these stories. This is important for people to know that it's not easy, but it's worth it. It's not easy, but it's worth it.
Talking about Kenny's, the day, what's it called? The day he called me, he said he wanted us to do something. I said, okay, fine, no problem. And then I said, okay, I'm coming to your house. Then I had the nyanya already and everything. So he said, no. I want to come to your house. Let me tell you something. The day Kenny came to my house, right? You know what I did? Kenny Ogungbe.
Yeah.
When I called to let them in from the gate, I went and I knelt down on my bed. I said, God, this journey has been so great. This is somebody that I always looked at as, will I ever get to this point? Do you remember that we'll go to Kenny's, their gate, right? Their office, go and wait there. We want to get job. To be artist manager.
Can you remember when they had the Hummers? Can you remember when they had the yellow Hummers? Can you remember then? Branded Kenny and D1. Look, those guys were crazy. Those guys are just like for me, I don't think that we've rewarded. I don't think we've given them the accolades.
No, we've not given them.
It's not fair.
They've created that pathway for us. And
what?
You know that record label owners now, we don't live the life that those guys have lived. We are not near. Because right now, we are just running around trying to make sure that the artist blows, making sure the artist gets to the right place. And then when the artist now blows, you are rushing around looking for, let him not leave. What can I do? It's crazy. It's crazy. And I respect those guys, man. If we sit down and give the industry conversation, I'm one of those guys that came into the industry, very small, young, quiet, then I met one great guy. Guess who that guy is?
Who?
Sound Sultan.
Oh, no. These people, Sound Sultan has my ultimate respect any day. Like, there's so many of them that, okay, there's so many of them, but there's some people that when you call their names, you have to respect, because respect is earned. You're not going to earn my respect by showing me that you're rich or you're powerful. You're going to earn my respect by showing that in spite of what you have achieved, you're still a humane person. And I think that's what we keep losing. That people just get excited that, oh, I'm a celebrity, I'm a star, so talk to people like shit. No. So if you, and let's be honest, right? Between us, we've run businesses, right? And valuable businesses, I dare say. Is that if I can still tomorrow, when I see Kenny anyway, any day, I will bow down and give him respect. Any day. That will never change. Even when I become president or whatever, I will still bow down to him, because Oga is Oga is Oga. Why is it that talent don't have the same behavior when they reach a certain thing?
So let me tell you something funny today. Let me tell you something. You know, I've never called you. Maybe when we're having a conversation, right? But when we're chatting, I've never said bro ever. When I said, this is it, bro, today. After I sent it, I felt like taking back the message because I felt bad that I said, because of the respect. You understand? Yeah, you know this the same way you feel about Keke. It's the same way I feel about you. You know this our industry is different classes, right? You are like 3 classes ahead of me. Do you understand? You are like 3 classes ahead of me. So every time it's like seeing your seniors, your senior in school, you still give him that. You know, do you understand? You still give him that. No, I'm serious.
Just funny
no, let's be honest now. Okay, I always say that there are different classes in our entertainment industry. Audu, I won't be here today, right? If I didn't look up to people like you, right? I didn't look up to people like Kenny's Music. I didn't look up to Kelvin Luciano. Now, you see, now that's another person that we missed out of the conversation. You see Kelvin Luciano? You know Harry's song. I used to go to Harry's song. I used to go to Kelvin Luciano's studio. I'll go and stay there. I'll be boy, just walking around. Just, you know.
Which of the studios? Which of the studios?
The one in VI. Yes.
So do you know I used to manage Asha? Do you know that?
Yeah, I know you used to manage Asha.
You know.
So I remember when she used to come. I think she used to come there to record music.
Exactly. So what happened was that Kevin and I met as enemies because Asha met me and said she wanted me to represent her. Yeah. So I had to do her legal stuff, and then I had to manage her for like 6 months until she left to France. So me and Kevin would have to negotiate her contract with this guy, the tall guy, his partner. Very tall guy, dark, he had a beard as well. He's Yoruba boy.
I think he lives in London now.
Yes.
I've forgotten his name.
Anyway, those guys. But what Kevin and Co did in their setup, the money that they invested, like in the studio, the recording, of course, Cobams and Co and all those guys, they also were ahead. So if you're talking about for me, right, like the designer record labels at the time, where Storm, where Question Mark was definitely there, Kenny's Music was on another level, and then those 3, those were the guys. Because they spent a ton of money on the music business, no doubt. Those guys.
That's Ozzy Triple A.
Ozzy Triple A.
That's his name, right?
No,
Ozzy Triple A.
No, Benga Shokefun.
Yeah, Benga,
yeah.
Talk Benga,
yeah. That was the guy. So, yeah, man. But I mean,
you know, I got to a point in our industry where I felt like if I appeared on anybody's video. So I went, you know, then when, you know, this guy, Tola Odunsi, you know, people know Tola Odunsi now. We knew him as Bobby Boulders.
Yeah.
You remember that year?
Yeah.
So Tola Odunsi was our Clarence Peters at the time.
Yeah.
He was shooting videos. Everybody's Bobby Boulders. So I now went for a video shoot. It was YQ featuring Neto C. That year. YQ was,
I think I know that song. I remember the song. Yeah, go on.
So they shot the video at that landmark area. So waiting who send me, I go wear tie, everything. I entered the video. Do you know that they didn't release that video? I told all my clan, my entire village. I told all my entire village that, you know Neto C? Do you know YQ? I'm in their video.
So are you saying that Tola cut you off because it was you? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. Let me tell you. So after that, something now happened. Inyanya's first video, you know that Kukere video are 2 different videos.
Yeah.
We shot the first one. I was in the video. I was dancing myself and in the video myself and Sharon Ojong. So I think so. Sharon and a few other people were dancing in the video. Guess what? We didn't release that video. Yeah, that video was Duro. Yeah, Duro from this guy YQ. They didn't drop that video. Then we didn't drop that Kukere video. And I said, okay, I'm not going to appear in any video again. And then we shot the next Kukeri video. And then, you know what? Instead of me entering the video, I put MC Galaxy in the video. So that's how MC Galaxy came into, yeah, and it worked. I say, hey, let me leave it. So the first time and last time I ever appeared in the music video was Nyanya's song, because I really loved the song. Applaudisse. And then, since I had control at the time, I knew that this one, I would release it. So I released that video, and that was the only video, first and last time I played the music video. So it was funny. I'll tell you, it was really, really funny.
So you know, when you're saying that this thing will happen by hook or by crook, you force it to happen.
No, see, this one, I already knew that. Okay, this one, I already knew that. No how. This was 2015. Yeah. I said, see, this video, I'll drop it. I dressed up. We made all the outfits, the rappers. If you watch our video, Applaudisse by Yaya. Beautiful song. For me, you see that song? That song made my respect for Terry G increase. Oh, no, Terry G came to the house. See, Terry G is still one of the best bassists in Nigeria. Forget it.
I didn't know he plays bass. I just know he's a crazy producer. I didn't know that he plays.
If you listen to that Applaudisse, you hear pom 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 pom. Terry G came to see us, right? He was just standing and we are just having a conversation. Don't forget that this time Terry G had passed me a lot. No, not passed me. He had there was a song he had in 2015. That was, Terry G was still. So he came to see us. Then we are just having a conversation. Then DJ Kublon, I think it was DJ Kublon that produced that song. So he was playing the song. Terry G came, and the bass on that song, do 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 do. He played everything.
Wow.
And then he changed how the song felt. See, there are a lot of memories that we need to discuss. See, you know what? Let's do this record label, because if we stay here,
we're going
to keep talking and talking and talking. It's really interesting to have you on the show. It's really interesting for us to have discussed a few things, But you see, when you sit back, you understand that no hard feelings. These are things that were part of our experience.
Yeah.
But you see, going back to the artist and the record label relationship, artists need to see. I think what we need to do is, before you sign an artist, you need to put them through before you sign an artist, you need to put them through a business school for them to understand that what they are going into is a business. This is a business. I have to sign this thing. I have to sign that thing. I have to be involved in the process flow. Artist is not just only getting up to just go and sing. You need to understand the process flow, right? So I was talking to I was talking to a footballer, a female footballer, Aziza, just before this call, and then we're having a conversation why a lot of our sports men and women, a lot of our creatives in Nigeria end up broke when they retire from what they are doing. And we're having that conversation. And she said, oh, Ronaldo and co, these guys understand, they leave their lives and brands to people to manage, right? And allow and understand that every time they read contracts, their lawyers explain something. They have independent parties in terms of lawyers. You have a lawyer that sits down and, you know the funny thing artists do? If a lawyer is here, bear me witness. If an artist is not in trouble, they don't call their lawyers. Their lawyers call them, they don't pick. No, it's no joke. There are a lot of lawyers that complain that thing. They'll tell you, say this artist, until you get problem, you go call me. When he's signing contract, he doesn't call. If you're a lawyer here,
Ubi, I think Ubi, you need your own. Listen, Ubi, let me give you some advice now, right? You need your own frigging show. Let me just say the truth, because there are things that you say that really just kill me. But you're absolutely.
But I'm right. See, right. If you're an artist, if you're a lawyer here. If you're a lawyer and you pass through that thing, I say I'll have lawyers that will come and say, I see this one, they call me. Why they call me? You don't get problem. Now, but when there's a time for them to see, artists feel like the worst thing to pay, is to pay a lawyer. And it's wrong.
Of course. But you know something, right? Let me say something, right? Like that. I recall to that. When I first got called to the bar, my boss, Chief Afe Babalola, said something. He said to me, look, Audu, lawyers and doctors have the same job. And I said to him, what is that? He said, we both save lives, right? And when you think about the role of the lawyer, the problem is that we're also treated like the doctor as well, aren't we? Is that they check us when there's a problem, then we call. I'm like, hey, doctor, please, can I see you? And it's always urgent. It's always not now, but right now. The truth, though, is that it is not peculiar to the world. even in the UK or other places that are so-called developed places, artists generally just don't like all that legal talk. They don't like all that legal stuff. They don't like structure. But let me tell you what it is. When the environment behaves a certain way, you copy that environment. Do you get what I'm saying? Because if you enter the UK and you're entering the station and you don't line up, you're not going to get through that place.
Yeah.
So when the most local artist that goes to London, he knows after 3 days that he needs to line up to enter the place. So people behave according to what the community does. As long as our community doesn't respect contracts, doesn't like to talk to lawyers or treat them properly, doesn't compensate them properly and stuff, they will always avoid lawyers. Do you know what I'm saying? So we have a lot, and that's why the platforms like this are education, and they're very important to teach people certain things, some basic things. That one, a contract is a contract is a contract. Two, things like marriage. Marriage is what? A contract. In fact, it's the biggest contract in the world. Marriage is the biggest contract because there are rules and regulations, and that if you mess up, there's a there's a reward for obedience, and there's a punishment for flouting the marriage laws. If you cheat, you get divorced and you lose your property. What we need to do is an ongoing conversation to teach people. And guess what? You will learn over time. Do you know how many artists, hip-hop artists that feel that they're gangster in America, that come around with guns and say, yo, man, screw it, I'm going to do what I want. And then when the lawyer sends policeman and policeman picks him up and puts him and he sleeps one night, his whole body language changes. Until we have the higher or the highest level of law enforcement, where police don't care who you are, they will arrest you for a flout of the law. We will not be able to fully benefit from this thing. The second thing is this. There must be unionism, whereby if you screw with one of us, you screw with all of us. You cannot keep hopping to different places, breaking contracts, and then you come to somebody and some money back because he wants to shine, says he sets up record label. He doesn't even know what a stream is. He doesn't know what promotion is. For him, his own dream is to put on social media that the artist is dancing behind him or singing to his 2-year-old son. So even artists need to have a sense of self-respect. You see, respect is what you tell people to do to you, and you show them. So there's a way that people can never behave to me. I know that because I've shown them clearly who I am. I'm a nice guy, but don't fuck with me. Excuse my French, right? Yeah. But if you allow people to feel that they can run over you, and if you think you can do things for a song and a dance, then you'll become that song and a dance artist. And you'll be subject to the whims and caprices of somebody's ego, anger, or emotion. Or emotion, whatever. So for me, I think that it will be ongoing. We need to do a deeper dive. We need to do more frequent communications. We need to tell people what happened in the past. But we need to forewarn them about what's going to happen in the future. So one of the things that tomorrow, if any of you are listening and you want to, please tune into the conversation that we're having about surviving in uncertain times. It's an economic conversation with probably one of the most diverse economic and finance minds tomorrow, because it's going to tell us how to do. My advice, my parting shot here, as we round up, is this. One, guys, wherever you are, stay safe. Number two, Nigeria is facing hard times. There'll be harder times to come. Please conserve cash. Don't spend money anyhow. Number three, don't consume too much alcohol at this time. You need to eat food that is healthy, that strengthens you, because this disease is real. People are dying in huge numbers. Currently, you have almost 50,000 deaths in the world. 50,000. And Nigeria is just coming. We're just starting our own problem. You can see how the numbers have moved from 1, 10, now we're how many numbers? Before you know, we're going to escalate. So it's important that we conserve cash. If you run a company, this is the best time to begin to think about restructuring your company. Last comment I want to make is about the role of lawyers. And I think Ms. Uduak was in this chat earlier on, and I was saying something. I said, look, the role of every profession is going to change. Whether you're a doctor, accountant, investor, you need to begin to think about ancillary things to invest your time and develop other skills, because the world is not waiting for you. In a few months' time, you'll see that companies like WeWork will be out of business. All these shared workspaces, people will be working more from home. Even spending money on a big office. Look at your lovely house. I know your lovely background. Your house is beautiful. I've seen the pictures of your kid. Shout out to you. But guess what? Why do I want to go and pay for an office outside? if I have a meeting, let me meet my guy for a drink at CCX, Lagos. You know, I don't need to rent the whole office and have 500 people walking up and down because I'm spending how many millions every month paying for generator, right? Paying for Wi-Fi that's too expensive and is not even fantastic. So you have to now think about restructuring your business and saving money so that over the next 3 to 6 months, as we see things unfold, you have become a reinvention of yourself, more powerful, more purposeful. I remember that challenges only refine the power that you have. So you can get more refined, you can be better out of this. So I've talked enough. I've had a great time. Ubi, thank you so much for having me. I had a wild time.
Thank you. I'm gonna call you much later. I know you're in a different time zone.
Yeah,
I'll call you so that we need to discuss on how best we can, we need to have those conversations that are really, getting as many people, entertainment conversations. People need to tell us their experiences. We need to have that. I was just thinking about it. I wanted to do battle of songs with you. I'll create that battle of songs where record label to record label. And I've been thinking, is Audu going to floor me? I've been thinking, M.I., Brimo.
I'll floor you. Listen.
Jesse Jazz.
Bro,
no,
we'll floor you. Look, there are not many labels that can try also. There are not many of them, please. We'll finish you. So let's not go there. Let's do. Because you know what we're going to do, Ubi? We can even do era to era. We can do 2005, 2010. We can do 2010, 2015. We can do 2015, 2020.
We'll do 2000. We'll do 2000. No. Yeah? Okay. We'll do 2010 to date.
You're dead now. You're dead. Are you
sure?
You're dead.
Are you
Come
sure?
on. No, think it. No, because
I'm trying to put the numbers.
Internally, at our meeting on Monday, we're talking about this and we're just saying, which label do we think? Which label can even? Let's see which label can we really even go back to back with? Who's the guy that? Because once we start releasing, I mean, try album for album roster talent. Is it Femi Kuti that will not call for you? Is it not MI? Come on now. Let's not go there.
No.
Let's calm down.
That's going to be a hard one, man.
It's going to be a hard one.
It's going to be hard,
but it's for the culture. It's not a competition. It's a collaboration.
Yeah, for the culture.
So let's do it. I mean, I'm open to it. Let's do it. I'm down for it. My team is down. Let's do it.
How come Foza is coming late? Foza, have you been here?
More hits. Somebody said more hits. Yeah, so why not? Let's go there, guys. Somebody said more hits. More hits too. More hits too. No, more hits would be great. No, but guess what? This is the time. This is the time we must deepen relationships with our fans and people who have supported us all these years. So I'm down for it. And in any way we can give back, why not? Let's make it happen. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Man. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Thank you for listening to the session as well. God bless.
Thank you. Appreciate it, bro.
Cheers.
All right, that was Audu Maikori. I enjoyed that conversation because it's actually also coming from an industry I really, really have a lot of experience in. Please go and support Audu's. You can order. That's the Instagram handle. CCX Lagos. That's the Instagram handle. Please go and support Audu and buy. You see, as entrepreneurs in the music and the creative space, it's not easy. So you have to diversify, put your monies in other things that will keep you stable. If not, hunger go kill you. Big shout out to everyone who joined this conversation. Let me see if I can see. DJ Case, I see you.